Calcium in your arteries is one of the strongest indicators for heart attack risk. When calcium accumulates, it causes arteries to harden and lose their elasticity, triggering atherosclerosis and blocking blood flow. This damage first appears around age 40 and by age 70. Approximately 90% of men and 60% of women are affected, causing cardiovascular disease and increasing the threat of heart attack or stroke. Given the modern lifestyle of toxic foods and high stress, it's important to take action as early as possible. So today, we're looking at 7 tips to reduce calcium in your arteries, including specific foods that can have a huge impact, simple routines that take less than a minute, and guidelines to help you stay on track each and every day. First up, avoid or limit alcohol. Alcohol interferes with how your body processes nutrients, including calcium. It impairs the liver's ability to filter toxins and regulate minerals, leading to higher calcium levels in the blood. Excess calcium can then settle in the walls of arteries. The 2018 ERA Jump study by the University of Pittsburgh showed breakthrough evidence of just how damaging alcohol can be. Researchers used electron beam computed tomography, a scan that generates detailed images of internal organs to measure calcium deposits. The scans revealed that heavy drinkers, those consuming more than 3 drinks a day, were more than twice as likely to have dangerously high artery calcification. So if you drink, moderation is key. Limit yourself to 1 drink per day for women and 2 for men. Take at least 1 day off alcohol per week, and maybe even take a month or 2 off, because studies show that this can lead to significant healing. Also remember, not all alcoholic beverages are created equal. Cocktails, sweet wines, and certain beers can be particularly harmful due to their high sugar content, combined with the effect of alcohol on your liver. At number 6, get regular sunshine. Vitamin D is one of the most crucial nutrients for reducing calcium buildup in your arteries. And where does it come from? That's right, the big ball in the sky. Vitamin D works synergistically with another vital nutrient, which we'll discuss next, to effectively remove calcium from your arteries and transport it to where it's needed most in your body. Now, you can get small amounts of vitamin D from oily fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines, as well as trace amounts in eggs, tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, alfalfa sprouts, algae, and mushrooms grown in sunlight. However, by far the most potent form, known as vitamin D3 sulfate, comes directly from the sun. Vitamin D3 sulfate is water-soluble, making it easier to transport through the bloodstream. What's more, researchers have discovered that vitamin D3 sulfate from the sun has another remarkable benefit. It expands the exclusion zone, waters that protect your cells. That's right, every cell in your body has a protective barrier around it, much like a water-filled bubble wrap. This slippery surface allows your cells to function more smoothly while at the same time repelling toxic substances like heavy metals and chemicals. This buffer helps to prevent artery damage associated with atherosclerosis heart disease. To optimize your vitamin D3 sulfate production, aim for regular, moderate sun exposure on large areas of your body, such as your chest and back. Of course, it's important to strike a balance. You don't want to burn, but short and regular sun exposure makes a big difference. On that note, you might like to snack on a few cherry tomatoes before going in the sun. Tomatoes are rich in lycopene, a powerful antioxidant that's been shown to protect skin against UV damage. Plus, vitamin C in tomatoes is going to support collagen production, enhancing your skin's ability to produce vitamin D. But be warned, all that vitamin D might not be so useful without our next nutrient, vitamin K. Vitamin K and vitamin D have a unique synergy. First, vitamin D boosts calcium absorption in your intestines. Then, vitamin K directs that calcium to where it's needed, in your bones and teeth. So it's super important. Yet, according to the famous PREVENT study, around 30% of American adults are deficient. That's why more and more the spotlight is on vitamin K as one of the most important nutrients for combating heart disease. Now, there are actually two types, vitamin K1 and K2. Your body can convert K1 to K2, but it's not very efficient. So focusing on direct sources of K2 is best. Natto is one of the richest sources of K2. Natto is a traditional Japanese dish made from fermented soybeans. It has a strong flavor and a sticky texture. Not everyone loves it, but if you do, then it's a great food to boost your heart and bone health. Another great option is sauerkraut, or fermented cabbage. It's not only packed with vitamin K2, but also probiotics that support gut health. During fermentation, beneficial bacteria such as lactobacillus convert some of the nutrients in cabbage into vitamin K2. And cheese lovers, you're in luck. Hard and aged cheeses undergo a slow fermentation process that produces high levels of vitamin K2. That's things like your Gouda, Edam, Jarlsberg, Emmental, and aged cheddar. Go for traditionally produced instead of mass-produced cheeses if you can, because the benefit comes from the slower aging process. Meats, especially organ meats like liver, are super rich sources of K2, while other cuts of chicken, pork, and beef are going to have moderate amounts. Of course, wherever possible, choose meat that's pasture-raised and grass-fed, rather than corn-fed or grain-fed meats. Those have lower nutrient levels, including vitamin K, and tend to be inflammatory. For more on choosing the right meats, watch our video on why meat can be great for the heart. We'll leave a link to that in the description box. Likewise, you can get smaller amounts of K2 from eggs, seafood, butter, yogurt, miso, and fermented pickles. And while K2 is the rock star for getting calcium out of your arteries, don't forget about vitamin K1. As we discussed, your body is going to convert small amounts of K1 into K2, and it also has important benefits for blood clotting and bone health. Potent K1 foods include kale, spinach, mustard greens, and other leafy greens. Herbs like parsley, basil, cilantro, and oregano, as well as broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, and bok choy. Note that cooking methods do affect the vitamin levels, so steam or eat your veggies raw to ensure you get plenty into your body. We've got another extremely important nutrient at number 2, but first, let's talk about blood pressure. Yes, hypertension directly impacts artery calcification. In fact, it's a destructive cycle, with research showing hypertension both accelerates vascular calcification, but that hypertension also gets worse once you have calcification. Think of it like minerals from crusts inside your pipes. These crusts make the pipes narrower and less flexible, forcing your heart to pump harder to push blood through. Now you've got hypertension. From here, the pressure damages your artery walls, making them even more prone to calcium buildup, and the cycle repeats. That's why hypertension is known as the silent killer, because it builds up over the years without people realizing, slowly causing other areas of the body to malfunction. Any step you can take to get your blood pressure healthy is going to help. Drinking plenty of water helps maintain blood volume and keeps arteries flexible, possibly the simplest step that any person can take. Likewise, excess weight puts additional strain on your heart, so even a small amount of weight loss can help. Regular physical activity strengthens your heart and improves blood flow, helping to lower blood pressure, while potassium-rich foods like avocados, bananas, sweet potatoes, and spinach help to balance sodium and ease pressure on blood vessels. Another aspect that many people struggle with is stress. Stress significantly increases blood pressure, so beyond exercise, sleeping well, and eating good food, anything extra you can do to reduce stress is going to help. Whether it's meditation, yoga, and relaxation exercises, picking up a new hobby, or scheduling me time to sit in nature and read a book. These things have real, tangible benefits for your health. At number 3, they say that sitting is the new smoking. Now, there are two main types of artery damage we need to be aware of: coronary and peripheral. While coronary artery calcification impacts the heart, peripheral artery disease, or PAD, affects the arteries in your arms and legs. PAD leads to serious blood clots that can travel to the lungs, causing a potentially fatal pulmonary embolism. Leg cramps is one of the most common symptoms, but as we'll discuss in a moment, leg cramps don't necessarily mean PAD. And how does this happen? Well, all the factors we've discussed do contribute, but sitting for hours on end accelerates the damage. If you work at a desk, stand up and stretch every hour, take a walk during lunch, and consider a sit-stand desk. On flights, stand up and move occasionally, and avoid crossing your legs. At number 2, make sure you're getting plenty of magnesium. Did you know that an astonishing 57% of people in the US don't get enough magnesium? That makes it one of the highest nutrient deficiencies, and it's even more common among older adults. Common symptoms are muscle twitches and cramps, which actually highlight the fascinating way magnesium and calcium act like opposing forces. Calcium promotes muscle contraction and excitability in nerve cells. However, magnesium blocks calcium channels in order to balance levels. So, when magnesium levels are low, too much calcium enters nerve cells, causing overstimulation, and hey presto, your muscles twitch. Without enough magnesium, calcium can end up in places it shouldn't be. In fact, magnesium is crucial for over 300 biochemical reactions in the body, from setting your heart's rhythm and maintaining bone structure, to regulating mood and muscle function. It's not one that you want to be deficient in. So how can you ensure you're getting enough? Alcohol disrupts magnesium absorption. So again, moderation is key. Likewise, the standard American diet of processed foods, chemical additives, sugar, and stress further depletes magnesium. Boost your magnesium intake with leafy greens, especially spinach and Swiss chard, nuts and seeds, especially almonds and pumpkin seeds, as well as quinoa, black beans and lentils. Dark chocolate and avocados are also excellent sources. Beyond these rock stars, most fruits and vegetables are going to provide a reasonable amount, so it's all about eating a quality diet and reducing the factors that deplete magnesium. You may like to talk to your healthcare provider about magnesium supplementation, which can be a good addition for many people. Just be aware that some forms, like magnesium oxide, can cause digestive issues, while magnesium glycinate tends to be gentler and better absorbed. And at number 1, don't smoke. Smoking is the single worst thing you can do for your health, particularly for your arteries. Each puff damages your blood vessels, making them stiffer and more prone to accumulating calcium. We all know the stats, so we don't need to say anything more than that. When a person stops smoking, the body is incredibly resilient and can quickly start healing. For more healing foods, you might like to watch our video on the top 7 foods that dissolve blood clots. We'll leave a link to that in the description box, or click the image on screen.